When I first asked Veronica for help, I never expected the answer I got. She laughed at me. Actually laughed. "Our kids aren't my problem," she said. Like Lily and Mason were some optional commitment she could walk away from whenever she felt like it. I'm 34. A dad who really believed co-parenting would work even after divorce. Veronica, she's 32, and 2 years ago when we split, it wasn't some dramatic blow-up. We just drifted apart. She told me she needed to find herself. Fine. We handled the divorce like adults. I kept the house since I could cover the mortgage. She got her car and half of what we had saved. We agreed to split custody 50-50, and at first, it seemed like it might actually work. The kids, Lily, who's 8 and Mason 6, stayed in their same school district with me. Veronica took them every other weekend. At the beginning, she kept up her end. Then weekends turned into once a month. Then it became once every couple of months. Before long, she was basically just a voice on FaceTime once in a while, if that. 5 minutes of distracted chatting while she sat with a drink in her hand, background noise of bars and parties behind her. Meanwhile, her social media told a very different story. New downtown apartment. Nights out drinking with friends. Weekend getaways. Constant string of new boyfriends. She was living like she was in her early 20s again. No responsibilities, no kids. The moment that broke me happened just 3 weeks ago. Mason had been asking why Mom never came around anymore. Lily needed new school supplies and clothes. She's growing faster than I can keep up with. So I reached out. I texted Veronica, asked if she could chip in for Lily's stuff since she hadn't paid a cent toward child support, even though we had an agreement. I also asked if she wanted to be there for Lily's birthday. She didn't text back. She called me. She was laughing when she said it. "Tyler, this parenting thing just isn't for me. Our kids aren't my problem anymore. You wanted the house, you wanted custody. You handle it. I'm living my life now." I froze. I told her they were her kids too. She doubled down. "Not anymore. I already signed my rights away in my head. Stop trying to guilt me. I'm done playing mom." Then she hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, trying to process what had just happened, while in the other room my kids ate their dinner with no clue that their mother had just decided they weren't worth her time. That night, something inside me shifted. She was right about one thing. They weren't her problem anymore. But she was dead wrong about another. She doesn't just get to choose that unilaterally. So I got to work. I pulled together every piece of evidence I had. Every weekend she skipped, every message where she canceled, every dollar she failed to contribute. I dug up the custody agreement that spelled out her financial responsibility. I saved screenshots of her Instagram, showing her nights out and luxury weekends while she claimed she couldn't afford her kids. By morning, I was on the phone scheduling an appointment with my lawyer. It didn't take long. My lawyer filed for full custody and got child support enforcement involved through the state. Since Veronica hadn't contributed or consistently seen the kids for more than half a year, the case was rock solid. The state doesn't mess around. They tracked her down at her job. Turns out she's doing pretty well for herself as a marketing manager at a startup, pulling in about 75 grand a year. More than enough to contribute. She found out the hard way. Her HR department called her into a meeting to explain the state had sent over a wage garnishment order. 25% of her paycheck would now automatically be sent to me for Lily and Mason. That comes out to about $1,200 a month. Not surprisingly, my phone rang. She was screaming this time, not laughing. "What the hell did you do? You ruined my life. I can't even afford my rent now." I stayed calm. "No, Veronica. I just made sure you were held accountable. You said our kids weren't your problem. Now the state makes sure they are." She called me vindictive. Told me I was destroying her. I reminded her she hadn't seen her kids in 8 months. No visits, no money, barely a call. That's abandonment, plain and simple. She tried everything. Threatened to get a lawyer. Though with what money, I have no idea. Claimed I was poisoning the kids against her. Didn't hold up, since I had every message, every canceled visit documented. Then she tried sweet-talking me, saying maybe we could work something out privately, just between us. I shut that down. Too late. She made her choice, and the state was just making sure she lived with it. Then came the cherry on top. Her mother called me. Diane has always been a nightmare. Judgmental, dismissive, the queen of excuses. She's the reason Veronica never learned accountability. Tyler, sweetheart, Diane started, in that fake sugary tone she always uses. This whole garnishment thing is ridiculous. Ronnie's just going through a phase. You need to let her breathe. A phase? She hasn't seen her kids in 8 months, Diane. She's finding herself. You can't punish her for that. You make good money anyway. You don't need her help. It's not about me needing her help. It's about the kids being entitled to support from both parents. Her voice dropped, like she was warning me. If you keep pushing this, she might never come back to be their mother. Diane hung up on me, and about 20 minutes later I got a message from Veronica's dad, Robert. He's always been the calmer one in that family, more grounded than the rest. His text read, Tyler, I'm sorry for everything. I just found out what's really been happening. Diane's been telling me Veronica was visiting the kids all the time. I didn't know the truth. Do whatever you think is best. Those children deserve better. At least someone from her side of the family seems to have common sense. As for the kids, they're doing okay. I haven't burdened them with the drama involving their mother. I've kept their days as normal as possible, sticking to their routines. Still, it's not easy. Last night, Lily looked up at me and asked if her mom doesn't love them anymore. That crushed me. I told her that their mom loves them, but she's dealing with problems that only grown-ups can handle. I don't know how long that explanation will hold up, but for now, it's all I can do. The wage garnishment was scheduled to begin the next month, and Veronica wasted no time going online to complain about her supposed hardship. She whined about having to move into a cheaper apartment, bragged and then lamented about canceling a Vegas girls' trip, and even started selling off her designer handbags. My only thought was, cry me a river. When the first garnishment actually hit her paycheck, the meltdown was immediate. Veronica's brilliant idea was to quit her job, so there'd be nothing to garnish. She really thought she'd outsmarted the system. My lawyer filed for contempt right away. The judge wasn't amused by her stunt. She was given 30 days to find similar employment or face jail time. By then, her old position had already been filled. The only offer they gave her was for a demoted role at lower pay. She had no choice but to take it. Then came the audacity. Last Tuesday, Veronica showed up at my house, unannounced, for the first time in nearly a year. The kids were at school, so she wasn't there for them. She was there to negotiate with me. She didn't look like the woman I used to know. Gone were the designer outfits and fresh salon highlights. She was just ordinary now. Reality had caught up to her. Tyler, please. I can't live like this, she said. I just stared at her. Like what? Paying for your children? I'm barely surviving, she whined. I had to move in with a roommate. A roommate? I'm 32 years old. And I'm 34 raising 2 kids by myself, I replied. We all sacrifice. That's life. She shook her head. This isn't fair. You tricked me. Tricked you? You literally said our kids weren't your problem. I agreed and let the state handle it. That's when she tried another tactic. She started crying, telling me she was struggling with depression, claiming she never meant to abandon the kids, that she just needed time to figure things out. Veronica, you were in Cabo 2 weeks ago posting #LivingMybestLife. I reminded her. Her tears dried instantly. That was a work trip, she snapped. Then she switched gears again. Fine. What do you want? Do you want me to beg? I'm here, aren't I? I don't want anything except what the court ordered. I told her. The kids needed a mom, and you chose not to be one. Now you just owe them money. She tried once more. Can I at least see them? And that was it for me. You haven't asked once how they're doing, how school is going, if they're healthy, what they're into these days. You're here about money, not them. She didn't even deny it. Just stood there, speechless. I finished it with, when you're ready to actually be a mother, not just dodge payments, we can talk about supervised visits. She stormed out, but not before dragging her keys across my truck. Joke was on her. I've got cameras. My lawyer added destruction of property to the list and sent her an $1,800 repair bill with a warning. Pay it or face charges. But the real blow came 3 days later. Diane, her mother, decided to corner me at the grocery store. The kids were with me. Mason spotted her and ran to her, thrilled. Despite everything, he still adored his grandma. She hugged him and then turned to me, her face full of cold fury. "Tyler, we need to talk." "Not in front of the kids, Diane," I said. "Fine. Kids, here's $5 each. Go get some candy." They sprinted off happily. Then she rounded on me. "You're destroying my daughter." "No," I answered calmly. "She destroyed herself. I'm just making sure she does what the court requires." "She can't afford to live like this," Diane argued. "She can't afford her lifestyle. There's a difference." "You're cruel. Those kids need their mother." "They needed her 8 months ago. Where was she? And where were you? You haven't seen them either." Her excuse? I was respecting Veronica's space. "By abandoning your grandkids too?" I shot back. That landed hard. She bristled. "How dare you? I love those children." "Love means showing up, Diane. You didn't." Her hand flew up like she wanted to slap me. I pulled out my phone. "Go ahead. I'll add assault to the file." She froze, dropped her hand, grabbed her purse, and stormed off without even saying goodbye to the kids. When they came back with their candy, they asked where Grandma had gone. Another conversation I had to carefully navigate. That night, I got a wall of texts from Veronica accusing me of alienating her family, ruining her life, traumatizing the kids, being bitter and vindictive. The whole victim routine. I replied with just one sentence. "Your payment is due on the 1st. She blocked me right after. Fine by me. Everything's through lawyers anyway. Robert reached out once more. He apologized for Diane's outburst and said he still wanted to be part of the kids' lives, if I was okay with it. He offered to do it the right way. Start with supervised visits, consider family therapy, whatever it would take to make it work. Finally, someone from that family who seems to understand." I sighed. She already made that decision. At least now she's paying for it. At last, it feels like there's at least one reasonable adult in that family. Through mutual acquaintances, I've learned that Veronica has been running her mouth, telling anyone who will listen that I've been financially abusing her, that I manipulated the courts, and that I've brainwashed the kids against her. The thing is, nobody believes it. It's hard to paint yourself as a victim when people literally saw your vacation photos from Cabo just 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, her wages are still being garnished, and that's not stopping anytime soon. The kids are in therapy now to help them process the abandonment. Honestly, it's been doing wonders. Lily has stopped bringing up her mom entirely, while Mason still mentions her from time to time, but far less often. We're not just scraping by anymore. We're actually doing well. The absence of chaos has brought us peace. And this is where my story comes to an end, because truthfully, there's not much left to say. Life has moved on, and so have we. Still, the way things wrapped up is worth sharing. 2 months ago, Veronica's finances hit rock bottom. Between the garnishment, a pay cut at her job, and a hefty repair bill for her truck, she found herself completely underwater. She couldn't even keep up with rent, even though she had a roommate helping with expenses. On top of that, her credit cards were maxed out from trying to maintain the illusion of her old lifestyle. So in typical Veronica fashion, she did what entitled people often do. She ran back to Mommy and Daddy. Of course, Diane was thrilled to welcome her back, but Robert was having none of it. Over the past few months, he and I have built a polite relationship for the kids' sake, so I know this caused a massive fight in their house. Robert told her she had made her choices and now had to face the fallout. He made it clear she abandoned her children and shouldn't expect a soft landing. Diane accused him of siding with me, and the argument escalated. The end result? Their 33-year marriage is over. Robert admitted to me that he'd been unhappy for years, but seeing his wife enable their daughter's neglect of her grandchildren was the final straw. So now Veronica is living with Diane in their nearly sold family home, broke and desperate. In that desperation, she made a serious mistake. She filed for a modification of her child support payments, citing financial hardship. What she failed to consider is that filing for a modification triggers a full financial review. Every dollar of income, every asset, every hidden stash, it all gets examined. The court's forensic accountant uncovered a few things she conveniently forgot to mention. She'd been doing freelance marketing jobs under the table. She had about $15,000 tucked away in an investment account she didn't disclose. And then there were the regular Venmo transfers from different men, always labeled with things like drinks and dinner. The judge wasn't impressed. Not only did he deny her request, but he actually raised her monthly support to $1,500 based on her undisclosed income. On top of that, she was ordered to pay back $7,200 in arrears for the months before garnishment kicked in. The judge gave her two options: set up a repayment plan, or spend time in jail. She chose the payment plan. And here's the part that gave me real satisfaction. Last month, Lily turned 9. Out of the blue, Veronica reached out. Not to spend the day with her daughter, not to rebuild a relationship, but to ask if she could post pictures of Lily's birthday to her social media to play the role of good mom. I told her she could only come to the party under certain conditions. She had to attend 3 family therapy sessions beforehand. She had to bring real presents and not cheap throwaway junk. She had to stay for the entire celebration, and she couldn't take or post photos. She refused every condition, called me controlling and manipulative, and chose not to come at all. Robert, however, did come. He brought thoughtful gifts, spent time playing with the kids, and even helped clean up after. He's been coming around every other Sunday for dinner since, and the kids have started calling him Papa Rob. When they ask about their mom, he never badmouths her. He just says, "She loves you, but she has grown-up problems to deal with." As for Veronica, she continues her performance on social media. Friends who still follow her say it's all smoke and mirrors. She poses for photos in upscale locations but doesn't buy anything. She goes to clubs but orders one drink and nurses it all night. The glamorous lifestyle she abandoned her children for isn't real, it's just for show. Meanwhile, my kids are thriving. Lily made honor roll this year. Mason started Little League and loves it. They've stopped waiting for their mom to show up, stopped asking when she'll come around. We've built our new normal. The 3 of us, with Papa Rob visiting regularly and my sister stepping in when needed. Every bit of the child support goes straight to them. College savings, necessities, their future. They're going to be okay, even if the money comes from a garnishment instead of a parent's love. Veronica was right about one thing. The kids aren't her problem. But she was wrong about what that means. They may not be her responsibility emotionally, but they are her legal responsibility. And that's all she'll ever be to them now. A monthly deposit and a harsh lesson about selfishness. As for me, I've let go of the anger. I don't expect her to change, and I don't waste time protecting the kids from the truth anymore. At least, not beyond what's appropriate for their age. They understand now. Their mom chose not to be here, and that choice wasn't their fault. What matters is they know they're deeply loved by the people who do show up, and that's enough. Sometimes the best revenge doesn't involve grand gestures. It's as simple as holding someone accountable to the rules, and letting their own decisions destroy them. Veronica wanted freedom from responsibility, and she got it. But freedom has a price. For her, that price is $1,500 a month plus interest.